In northern Kentucky, there is a famous place called the Creation Museum. There is also a great mystery attached to the Creation Museum. I would invite you to share this video with those that have been to the Creation Museum or those that are about to go, because everyone's going to be asking this question and I am about to solve this great mystery. And by the way, stay tuned to the end of this video because I have a bonus fact about the Creation Museum there. All right, my name is Dan Letha, and I'm a cartoonist, and I used to work for the ministry Answers in Genesis, the ministry that owns and operates the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter. I worked for them for about 23 years. So I was there at the very beginning of the Creation Museum. And so I've seen the answer to this mystery, and after the museum was opened, I heard many people ask this particular question and scratch their heads and just they can't figure it out. All right, so in the museum, for those of you that haven't been there, it's a wonderful place to go to get answers to questions about the book of Genesis and the Bible. You find out about Adam and Eve and sin entering the world, and dinosaurs, how do they fit into the Bible, and fossils, where did they come from, and are they millions of years old, and Noah and the flood, all of those things. It's a fantastic place to get answers to those questions. But your visit there will produce another question, and I'm going to answer that question, which starts at this point in the museum. We're on the top floor, and we're entering the Garden of Eden section. And there's a place called the Walk Through History, and it's the 7 C's of history. So creation, corruption, catastrophe, confusion, Christ, cross, consummation. So as we go through the Garden of Eden, we are in the creation section. And if you're really observant, you will be able to see little hints of the solution to the problem that many people have in this section, or after they get through this section, they scratch their heads and wonder what just happened. All right, so look for some visual clues. I'm going to point those out in a second walkthrough later on in this video. So, but I want to challenge you to look around and see if you can find some visual clues. Here we're finishing up the sin section or the corruption section of the walkthrough, and we're entering the catastrophe section that talks about Noah's flood. And again, boy, I'm looking at these things and I can see them. Can you see them? Let me know in the comments down below if you've detected these things that I'm talking about. We're going to round the corner here in the Noah's Ark section where the dioramas are. And it's usually right about here or a little later on that people get their maps out of the museum and they look and they're really confused as to where they are on that map, and they see the sign right up there and this says lower level. They think, wait a minute, I'm on the upper level. This can't be the lower level. How did I get down here? And so, yes, lower level, how'd that happen? That's the great mystery that people are asking at the Creation Museum. Almost everybody runs up against that mystery and they're really confused. So they'll go over to a worker and they'll say, where am I located? We're on the top level, right? And the worker will tell them and then tell them the solution. And I've seen time and time again where that person, that family or whatever, will walk away in disbelief, not believing what the answer that they were just given. So to give the proof about what just happened and the solution, we have to go in a time machine and go take a trip back to 2004. It was the year that I was turning 40. This was my 40th birthday, and a bunch of us were celebrating my birthday, and this was a tour that Ken Ham gave us of the Creation Museum as it was still being built. Now, the scene that we're looking at right here is the entrance to the Garden of Eden. It's pretty similar to what I just showed you in that walkthrough video, except it looks really different because the exhibits aren't there yet. And so we can actually see the surface clearly that we're walking on. And that's the key to the answer to this mystery. All right, so pay attention to the surface as we're going around the corner there. And I also want to challenge you to see if you can put together where the exhibits are in these photos that don't show the exhibits. So take a look at the video, the walkthrough, and go back and look at these pictures and see if you can identify, oh yeah, that part goes here, this section goes here, and put that in the comments too, and let me know if you can piece those things together. But here, this picture right here clearly shows the decline as it goes down slowly, just very subtly, down, 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 down. So we're transitioning from the upper level to the lower level so slightly that most people have no idea that it's happening. Now, there are a couple things that I have to clarify here. One thing is that the T-Rex that you see here is no longer in that place in the Creation Museum today. It's been removed and it was put into another section, and so that's different. Then in this photo right here, you'll see that there's a part of the museum back there with the windows and the wall in the back, and it's got a Stegosaurus back there. That Stegosaurus has also been moved to another part of the museum. And then that part with the windows right there, that's the Palm Plaza, and the section in the farthest back part of the ramp there, there's a wall immediately right there. So when you're going down the ramp, you can't see that wall in the back as shown here in this photo. All right, so again, things have changed a little bit. Things have filled in. Can you match the walkthrough video with these photos? And it's fascinating to look back in time and to see the museum as it was back in the beginning, back in its genesis. So again, now we're going to walk through the video one more time, the walkthrough part, and I'm going to point out some of the visual clues that I was hoping that you would kind of detect on the first time through the Creation Museum. Now, because we're going down, down, down at an incline, the things in the museum that are level will start out at a particular thickness, and then it'll go thicker, thicker, thicker as we're going down, 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 okay? So look for the things along the side of the walkway, because those are the things that give it away. But again, people are looking at the exhibits, they're not looking at the floor, and so that's the part that usually gets by them. Look at the right there. See how it's thin on the bottom and then thicker, thicker, thicker as it goes up? That's because that's a level surface on that display, but the floor is going down. Look for that dynamic here on the left on the rock wall. Okay, it's thin right there, but it's getting thicker, thicker, thicker. See that? So again, you can see it as you're walking through the Creation Museum, but if you don't know about that, you're, again, fascinated by the exhibits, paying attention to that, and so you really have no clue that you're actually slightly going down and down and down. And here you can see it a little bit here as there's a ramp that goes down to this wood floor right there. So now it's level around the corner, and then you come upon this sign that informs you that you are in fact on the lower level, when everyone at this point is just convinced that they are on the top level still. So that is the mystery solved. So thank you for watching, and now I have a bonus fact about the museum, something else that when you visit you can look for. All right, so bonus fun fact. There are at least 4 different looking Noahs in the Creation Museum. Now, why would that be? Well, over time, as they've come up with different exhibits, different artists have had different ideas for what Noah should look like. And so some of the older Noahs are still in the museum, and then Noah's design changed and they built the next exhibit with the next design for what Noah looked like. And so it kind of looks like there's 4 different Noahs. Or maybe there's some more. So when you visit the museum, please take a look, see how many different ones you can find, and then again in the comments below, let me know what you found at the Creation Museum. So I would invite you again to please share this video with anyone that's been to the museum so you can answer this question for them or solve this mystery for those that are going to be visiting to the Creation Museum. So thank you for watching and joining me for the Great Creation Museum Mystery Solved.